Now, three former Iraq prisoners who were tortured by US military have won a $42 million judgment against an American defense contractor in connection with electrocutions, beatings and other abuses the men say they suffered at the infamous prison operated by the US military after the invasion of Iraq in 2003. American prison handlers came under fire for abuses at the prison outside Baghdad after the US took it over from the regime of Saddam Hussein. The photographs and reports of abuse led to several military investigations into such prisons that documented widespread mistreatment of detainees. Take a look at this report.
Yeah, it's been 2 decades since the photos came out that sort of shocked the world at Abu Ghraib. They were sort of horrified prisoners, stacked in naked pyramids, subjected to electric shocks, all those sort of things, with U.S. soldiers smiling in the background. And so it was an earth-shaking story 20 years ago. And what we've had here now in Alexandria, Virginia, a jury has awarded $42 million to 3 of those detainees it's a verdict against a U.S.-based military contractor, CACI. CACI provided the interrogators. They provided civilian interrogators to supplement the military effort at Abu Ghraib. And the jury found that those interrogators were complicit and conspired with the military police to soften up detainees for questioning with abusive treatment. These 3 plaintiffs in this suit, they weren't depicted in any of those photos, but what they described happening to them was very similar. They said they were beaten. One said he was sexually assaulted. They said that they were, forced to be naked for extended periods of time. They were threatened with dogs. That was what they described in their testimony at trial. Now, CACI, there was never an allegation that the CACI interrogators were the ones who explicitly inflicted this abuse on the detainees. But the theory was legally, it was sort of a conspiracy. And this was the first time that a U.S. jury heard these cases in a civil lawsuit. And it had been kicked around in appeals courts for 15 years. And CACI had thrown up a bunch of different defenses, some sort of factual defenses and some sort of legal defenses. They said that it involved state secrets. They said that they were entitled to immunity. And they had had some success on these things. There were different times that this case was, in fact, tossed out of court. But it was revived on appeal, so it was up and down, back and forth between the appeals courts for 15 years. Certainly the plaintiffs and the plaintiffs' lawyers, a nonprofit group called the Center for Constitutional Rights, they filed this lawsuit on the plaintiffs' behalf. They, of course, celebrated the verdict and said that it does send a message to contractors that they need to be responsible for their actions in war zones.